How's it going, everyone? We're here to check out the top submitted workshop skins this week, and if you're new, it doesn't mean these skins are in-game or that any of them actually ever will be, but there's always the potential for them, and 8 to 10 skins are accepted every week by the game's lead dev, Helk. And yeah, there we go. That's how it pretty much works. So I always start off the video with my personal top 10 picks. And we've got this kind of fun one coming up on the heels of the Olympics, the Champion of Rust by Mr. 38. And I think this is really cool because every medal is actually an achievement in Rust. And I think that's a really cool thing. They did a really good job with that inspiration. I mean, some of them do repeat, but still one way or another, they are Rust achievements, and I think that is really fun. So definitely a very creative idea and very original. Next up, we've got the Heavy Knight Road Sign for you, and this set has been very popular. Very many people seem to be loving it, and it is selling quite well. We've seen most of the pieces slowly make their ways into the shop, as we have seen so far. We have the high qual, and we have the gloves and boots, and the hoodie and pants, and now we have a road sign set. We've got about half of that stuff in, so I would say this has a good chance of making its way in. Has nice details, and a lot of people just really love that look to it. Next up, we've got our sillier skin for the week with a cactus sleeping bag by Robstar, and it's just one of those things that's just really well done. It looks like one of those crazy pool floaties turned into a sleeping bag. It's got little cactus flowers, and it's even got a happy mustache, a belt, and some glasses and a sombrero for a pillow. Moving along, we've got ourselves a pallets rug, and this is just a really cool idea. One of those things I can see a lot of people wanting to put over their windows. And yeah, it just has a neat look and a cool design, and it's one of those things that role players I think would really like. Next, we have the Antique Mirror Sheet Metal Door by Mad Polly, and this just has a really beautiful kind of carving to it. And then it has this cracked mirror, and you can pick up just a little bit of a reflection of colors. Of course, it's not going to work like a real mirror because, well, real mirrors got completely removed in the game itself, and it's just kind of a hard thing to do performance-wise. So it does just kind of have that nice reflectiveness. And then last but not least, we have this really cool door over here. It is a double armor door. On top of it is the Little Raiders armor door by Duck. And as you can see, it says Little Raiders there, and the whole thing just has an old kind of cool kids playset design going on. You even have the square and triangle and circle holes there for the pegs. Definitely very, very fun. You have the little rollers and everything. I just absolutely think this is a fun design. And if we take a look, it does actually glow, so you can see right here. It has like a nice little light around the top that just kind of fades in, which is quite nice. And it is our only glowing one for the top 10 so far this week. Then for our top items, we have some tools for you this week, and they are part of the pretty popular Arctic Skull set. And these are here because they just have a really cool cutout that just makes them unique. I love that it's just the top jaw of the skull. They did a nice job on that little cutout. And then of course you have the matching pick to go along with it. And it's just one of those things that is a kind of simplistic design, but has been a very popular set so far. Moving on, we have a Tommy for you. It's the recycled hazmat Tommy, to be specific, and this is right up Rust alley. This is that rusty look, cobbled together junk, as you would expect, and one of those things that just those hardcore Rust people would love. Aiming down the sides here, you do have a nice red tip against all that shiny tape and duct tape and mashed together tarp and everything else. Then we've got a AR for you here. It is the Oasis AR by Fuff. And as you can see here, it has a little fish swimming all around it. It just has a really cool, nice kind of card design. And it shows that you can do a simplistic art, but also really do some nice sculpting to actually still make it pop even more. And I think this is a nice example of that. Aiming down the sides here, you do have kind of the aquamarine tips to the sides there. They may look like glow tips, but they are not, as that has been banned for many years. So there does the top 10 for you. Let's go ahead and check out the rest of the awesome skins for this week. Alright, let's jump into our clothing, and we have the Rave Up hide pants and poncho for you. These were easily on the heels of the top 10 just because of the color and everything, and it does even have some kind of hanging kind of pieces off here, and I think they maybe need a bit of string to make them look like they're holding on a little bit better there. But besides that, it was definitely on the heels of the top 10. Definitely very cool idea to kind of have that disco ball torn and made into like a rave outfit. Next, we have a kind of future techie, all kind of armored up look to the Nightfall hoodie and pants. And it's still in that guidelines of where it still looks like a hoodie and pants. It doesn't, can't really be mistaken for an armored chest piece. But it's always hard with those kind of like armored looking things. I know way back when this probably wouldn't have been allowed. But hey, we've had a lot of kind of cool stuff pop through. And I haven't seen anybody saying, oh, I'm so confused. So I think we're good. This is definitely one that, again, with the sculpting and everything, just really well done. I like the strips here that look like muscle coming through. Definitely a good idea. I know Hulk isn't the biggest fan of fake abs and so forth. But I think this set is just absolutely done very well. Next, we have a last hoodie set for you. It's the simply called Rage set. And yeah, it just looks like this interwoven kind of plastic material. I don't know if it's meant to be like a latex or maybe it's coated in something else, but it almost looks like woven wicker, but out of like, I don't know, a polymer material or something. Definitely very unique for sure and quite shiny. So this last week I asked you, well, is there too many black sets? And most of you said, yeah, you're pretty good for it. But hey, we have Commando Road Sign version 2 being pumped out here. And we did see some Commando pieces accepted. So who knows? Maybe the Road Sign will make it this week. But I mean, that many black sets in a row in that many weeks is kind of a lot. We'll just have to see how that goes. Moving on to our high qual sets, we kind of have a Robo Beetle kind of thing going on with the Disguise Soulless set by M. Vrona, and it just has all these kind of mechanical looking pieces, but it still looks, it almost reminds me of the District 9 prawn aliens, especially this kind of piece right here with the mouthpiece kind of things, or praying mantis in a way. It definitely looks quite cool. Next up, we've got the Cursed set high qual version 2, and they've kind of done a more kind of detailed job on it, I would say. The leather strappings here look like old belts. Then you have got the separate chunks to the actual chest piece, which look nice. That extra sculpting there really helps out. They changed up the mask a little bit. For the most part, it's about the same. It does have some separation there on the back of it, and the back of the chest piece has some separation as well to the plates. Definitely altogether a very cool looking kind of cryptic set. Next up, we've got the Blackstone set by Jimmy. And yeah, it's just a continuation with Blackstone. It's just, well, the Blackstone, but in high qual. We have seen quite a few pieces from the set, so this is also a possible contender, but again, more black armor. Next, we've got something a little clowning around. It's the Rusher set by Little Ranger, and it's got a face mask that is reminiscent of the Joker and Payday and every creepy clown that's probably ever been in your nightmares. And yeah, it even has some like aces and stars, and then it says mil-spec. You've got this plate carrier, but they wrote Smile on over it. And then in the back, you've got it where it says Rush and another kind of creepy smiley face. Definitely see a lot of raiders liking this set if it made its way into the shop. Last but not least, we have the Neon Reaper set by Shedmon. And as you can see right here, there is just all of this crazy high-tech look to it. Is a robot, was the human, is the cyborg. Then you've got this cool kind of strapping for the back of the helmet. And yeah, it's just a really unique look to it. Definitely something very different. We haven't really seen anything in Rust like this before, so I don't know what the chances are, but I think a lot of people would love how different this really is. Moving along, we've got plenty of awesome deployables as usual, and this is the Stuffed Peppered sleeping bag to start us off. And if you've ever had stuffed peppers, depending on who makes them, they can be pretty delicious. Looks like the pillow is actually all the stuffing popping out right there. Definitely a fun sleeping bag. We have lots of food themed stuff in Rust, so hey, you know, it fits with that. Then moving on, we have a small box for you. It's part of the graffiti set, and it is the food small box. I know everyone always loves labeled boxes, and the graffiti set was quite popular. Moving on, we also have another themed little box for you with the Adobe storage box. Moving on to our large boxes, we've got a continuation with the Constellation set with the large box. Then over here we have the Full Moon large box with some more space for you. Moving on to that, this Psychic large box version 2 with a vinyl that looks like a crystal ball. And yeah, it just has that neon kind of, you know, psychic sign look. Moving along, we've got the luxury marble chest. Whole thing looks kind of made out of marble, and it has this kind of cushy fashioned top to it. Almost kind of looks like an ottoman. Then moving on to our furnaces, we've got ourselves the Stone Age furnace for you. Has all these nice little designs and drawings that are pertinent to Rust. All different kind of critters and so forth, and hunting. Little mammoths. I wish we had mammoths. That would be cool. But one or another, maybe even bison. That'd be quite sweet. Moving on, we've got the Filaments version 2, and this just looks like one of those filament nightlights. If you've ever seen them, they're usually made out of like clay or ceramic, and then they have this filament light, and it's just really, really well done. Moving along, we've got this super well done but very creepy furnace. It is the Chef Furnace, and yeah, this guy is angry. There's a rage within his mouth. And yeah, it just looks like one of those old kind of kitchen decoration chefs and turned into an angry furnace. You move along over here, we've got some rugs for you, and these are the Domino's rugs. Now, of course, they made them in, I think, is Domino's copyrighted? I'm pretty sure that is, so they'd have to call it something else. But one way or another, see, I don't know. The game's been around a long time, but I feel like maybe like Hasbro or somebody somehow owns it. That's definitely one of those there. But definitely a fun little design. If only we could actually play the game, that'd be fun. Then over here we've got a very creative little bear rug for you. It's carved into what looks like a giant raccoon. It's called the Big Thief Bear Rug. Definitely a very fun and cute design. Moving on to our doors, we've got a single wooden door for you, and it's a double door, and it is the fire wooden door. It has this just kind of an old look to it, very put together. I like the use of the metal and wiring in between. And then if we go ahead and take a look at the back, you can see it has a different little design as well. Moving on to our sheet metal doors, we first have a continuation in the Chalk Menace set with the sheet metal version 3, featuring that big old minigun. We've got the Dragon's Gate sheet metal door, which apparently I put in twice. Don't ask me what's going on there. Pool sheet metal door, Spikes sheet metal door, Crash Cargo sheet metal door, which I just really love that. Very cool design. Then we have another very, very cool design over here, Area 51 metal door. Then we've got all these mechanisms and wheels and cogs with the mechanism door. And we have the construction zone door over here. Then we can move on to double sheet metals, and the first one here is going to be the Demonic Double, followed by the Neon Raid Me, Ethereal Sanctuary, and Neon Nexus door. Moving on to our garage doors, we've got Hippie Vibes version 2, Mystery Garage door, Neon Bismuth, which looks very, very cool, Compost Storage, Cardboard Garage door, Toxic Reactor, which also comes in two alts, which are blue and red. Then we've got the Fight Club, Punched Plate, Dread Guardian, which also comes in an alt version where the green is switched out for black and the other aqua colors are switched out for red gems. You can always check out the alt versions. I always have it linked down in the video description. Then we have the Steel Fury garage door. And lastly, we have a single armor door for you from the Dead Soul set. You have those eyes looking through for the hatch. And there we have the main design. So what we can go ahead and do is kill our lights and start checking out our glow here. Definitely love how you can now see that hazmat pop. Then there's that bismuth glow. Very, very cool. Area 51 and that crash cargo. There's that door twice again. Oops. Check out both sides of that wood door. Then we can cruise on over to our furnaces. You can see his eyes also light up, which just adds to the creepy factor. Then we'll take a nice little cruise around this beautiful, beautiful nightlight furnace. Then we've got just kind of a standard glow on this one here. We check out our boxes. No side glow, unfortunately, on that one. And lastly, we have the graffiti food small box. Okay, moving along, we have our tools and weapons, and first up we've got the cone rock, and this one just looks like one of those kind of like adder cones that might fall off of a tree, or maybe kind of just an immature pine cone before it's kind of blossomed out. And it is a really cool kind of glow to the glow version, which makes it almost look like it's a glowing ember from within the cone, and I think that's quite a nifty design there. Moving on, we have some stone tools for you too, and these are the Trendicus, I believe. Oh man, it's obviously this design of tile, and there we go. Of course, you have to have a matching pick to go with it. Moving along, we do have a metal tool set for you as well as the homicidal set. And yeah, it looks like from the pictures they took some inspiration from American Psycho and just made this clean-cut hatchet splattered with very, very fresh blood. And the pickaxe, well, looks just as murderous. Moving on to our weapons, we have a Nocturne Hunter crossbow, and this one has this very cool kind of steampunk look to it, and it's all made out of this nice kind of leather. And then you have these kind of glowing portals. Are they gems? Are they some kind of fluid solution? Who knows? One way or another, definitely a very cool looking design. Moving on, we've got the Norseman sap for you. As you can see, it has that same kind of Norse kind of interlocking chains, and it has kind of a bit of a wooden and very hammered iron design to it. Aiming down the sights, you do have kind of dark silver to the sights, but they're all kind of the same color there. Moving on, our next sap is the Dark Glory sap by Sodenzer. As you can see, it has that Damascus steel kind of look to it, and kind of an old crusty grip wrap. Aiming down the sights, you do have kind of, I would say they're kind of coppery brown, but almost look black depending on how light hits it. Then we've got a continuation in the solar set with the sap. As you can see, it has those same purples and yellows that just kind of meshed well. There's a nice little sun on the trigger. Aiming down the sights, you have a very faint but yellow tip against the purples for the sight. Last for our saps this week, as we have quite a few, is, well, the Last Hope sap. Hey, I didn't even realize I made a joke there for that, but hey, there it is. It has kind of a bit of a urban camo green going on with some gold highlights, a little skull, bright red, orangey kind of esportsy trigger, and same with the bolt in the back. And it does have a slightly different kind of bronze tip, but against the gray, it's kind of hard to see the difference there. Moving on, we have the White Corsair for you, and this is a nice continuation with the White Corsair. Kind of has that burnt wood with snow camo, and a lot of people kind of like that design. Aiming down the sides, you do have kind of gray versus white, but not too much of a differentiation there. Our next SAR is the Ancient Legacy SAR by Legacy. Hey, that's pretty funny right there. But it has these cool little carvings. You can see there's some elephants and some other tribal designs going on. Aiming down the sights, there's an eye staring back at you. And there we go for our reload. Moving on to ARs, first up we've got the Manga Scribbles AR, and the whole thing kind of has a similar look to the comic set, but it's more of a flat look, and I think that's more of the two different styles of, art there. which I guess they're trying to make with the name, where, you know, manga kind of has more of a, or manga has more of a flat kind of look to it, where I feel comics pop a little more. One way or another, it is a little bit similar to that set. I don't know how that would fly. And it is, again, kind of black, so a lot of black stuff lately. I mean, I know people are tired of black armor. Do you mind black weapons? I mean, this is black and white, so hey. Aiming down the sides here, you do have a silly little face that is quite angry. And there goes that reload. Next, we also have the Polar 1 AK-47, and we do already have the actual Ice AK by Rust themselves as a first-party skin, so I don't know if this kind of encroaches on that area, but as you can see, it's quite different. All it really shares is the fact that there's ice over an AK, but this has this kind of fancy design underneath, depending on how the light can see it. It's a little more frosted at the top, and then it has a kind of snow camo grip up on the front, a matching tape on the mag. So yeah, it definitely is its own little thing there with a similar idea. Next, we've got a complete opposite of ice with the Magma AK-47. You may think, well, man, this glows, right? And, well, actually, it doesn't. So you can have this Magma with broken up little chunks all over across. Has a nice little actual multicolored tip with a red tip, and then the Magma and that dark black of the lava chunks. Then over here we've got the Moss Power AK-47, nice little continuation in the Moss set. Old messed up AK, and it looks like the grips are made out of still covered in bark wood, and it's just been laying there collecting moss. Aim down the sides, you do have a faint red tip that, depending on how the light hits it, can be a little bit on the darker side. Next, we've got the Hellfire AK-47 by Cirque. This has that old kind of hot rod design, and yeah, these pieces have been pretty nice. I like how the flames themselves do pop like they're separate layers of paint, which is really nice, and that just kind of adds to it to make it not look so flat. Aiming down the sides here, you do have a little carved flame and some orange for the tips of the sight. Moving on to our next AR, this is the Special Purpose AK, and this thing is just made out of all sorts of different junk. It has a very rusty look to it, and I can see a lot of people liking it for that. It's even all scuffed up and oil marks and everything. Aiming down the sides, you do have silver and gray with a little bit of that kind of tan yellow highlights. And there we are for a reload. Finally, last for our AKs, if it decides to load in, hey, there it is. We've got the Space Camouflage AK, and yeah, it just has this really crazy kind of design to it. This metallic, it almost looks like it's peeling, and the light reflects off of it, and it hits different blues and purples. Definitely something I can see a lot of people really digging. Aiming down the sides here, you can see that there's pretty much just black on black. And there goes that reload. Almost looks like someone like dropped glitter all over shiny paper. Then moving on, we've got the Bird of Luck L300. This is a very nice looking LR, and I think it translated quite well from this set. We've seen a couple pieces make it in, so this could also have a running this week. It just has a very nice color to it, very bright, and it's just very artsy. Aiming down the sights, you do have a kind of bronze, bright kind of orange, a red tip, and some blue to the back ring. Then, last but not least, we do have one more LR for you, and it is the Feel the Fear LR, and this whole thing is just, well, it's a centipede. There you go. And they've got kind of a cracked grip up front, so they've done some details here and there. You can see cracks actually throughout most of the gun. And aiming down the sides, you do have a very neon green tip against the black ring. So everybody, that does it. Sound off in the comments below which ones you are hoping will make it in this week the most and why. Don't forget to pick up those Twitch drops, and do keep in mind that the hoodie and pants are only for today as the day of this upload on the 10th. After that, it is only the generic drop, so make sure you grab it today. And that's about it. So thanks for watching, everybody, and stay rusty.